Hi everyone, I've come out with Dan to Port Mulgrave on the Yorkshire coast. We're just making his way down the steep little rope and then onto the beach. Hopefully there'll be some really good stuff down there. Dan's just pointed out the beach looks quite sanded over today, but you never know, there might be some rocks what we can't see on the beach resting on top of the sand. You don't know until you head on down the beach. Either way, it's nice to come to a different beach every now and again. The one thing about Port is you're always guaranteed really nice views looking over the sea from the top of the cliff. So towards the end of the video I'm going to show you a really nice big piece of quality Whitby Jet that I found earlier in the week. It's a really nice chunk, so definitely stick around to the end if you're interested to see that. Little dachy laying in the sand. It's only half of one. A whirl from a big Phylloceros ammonite. I think looking at the amount of sand on the beach, which is covering all the good rocks and fossils, the best hope for today's hunt would be further around there, so hopefully we find some more over that way. I'm still going to continue looking here, but I'm not very hopeful. So that's a bit more how I like to find them. See if you can make out where the ammonite is. Right in the centre of the screen there, sat amongst all the beach shingle. Perfect on one side, let's flip it over. And it's perfect on both sides. What a lovely little find. I can see a good looking dac on the floor in its nodule. If you're interested in purchasing your own fossil from the Yorkshire coast, please check out my website called buyafossil.com. I've listed over 120 different ammonites and bone and lots of other different fossils. I'd really appreciate it if you could go ahead and take a look. Thanks. There you go. Massive chunk of fish bone inside this rock. Very flaky material. Definitely runs right through the nodule as well. Very heavy piece. So I'm round the other end of Port now towards Brunswick side. Brunswick's over that way. I picked about 2 or 3 little nodules up to give a crack open later on. So I'm going to try and hammer some of them nodules that I picked up today. Let's see if any pop open nicely. This unusual golden, really shiny piece is part of the ammonite called the Phyloceras, which would have been a really large size, but this is only just a little section of it. The bigger ones like this tend to get broken up very quickly once they've fallen onto the beach, so you often see fragments like this scattered amongst various beaches on the Yorkshire coast. Alright everyone, so let's go ahead and take a look at that piece of Whitby Jet that I promised to show you that I found at the very start of the week. It's a beautiful high quality piece of Whitby Jet, probably from a seam which would have been much longer, maybe in the cliffs, but I just found it when it had been wedged under a slab of shale.